And they're off. Sweet Heidelberg going out for the lead, moving like a winner. Classy Mademoiselle and Busker Alley is at the back of the field. They move into the first turn, and Classy Mademoiselle comes through to lead them and opens up about a length with 7 furlongs to run. Then moving like a winner, Sweet Heidelberg is on the outside of them. 3 separated by about a length and a half, and another 3 back to Busker Alley. Classy Mademoiselle is the leader onto the backstretch. It's a neck advantage over moving like a winner, and Sweet Heidelberg on the outside still. 3 more lengths, Busker Alley. 5 furlongs to run. Classy Mademoiselle is the leader. It's a neck now to Sweet Heidelberg, going to put the pressure on second, moving like a winner, 2 off the pace in third, and Busker Alley has trailed throughout. Classy Mademoiselle goes past the half-mile pole. About a neck in front of a comfortable Sweet Heidelberg, matching strides very easily. Now they've pulled 3.5 clear of moving like a winner, joined and passed by Busker Alley. 3/8 of a mile to go, and Sweet Heidelberg is the one to catch. Leads it by a head now. Classy Mademoiselle, hard-ridden, trying to keep pace second. 5 more, Busker Alley in third. Less than a quarter to go, and it's Sweet Heidelberg opening up now on Classy Mademoiselle, who will try to switch to the outside, but with a furlong to go, it's all Sweet Heidelberg starting to let it out a notch. 4-length lead. Now it's 5, and it's all over. Sweet Heidelberg is going to dominate the opener, close to double digits when it's all said and done. Sweet Heidelberg all alone. Classy Mademoiselle holds second, moving like a winner in Busker Alley. Rain Diva to the outside. And they're off. Rain Diva bounces out very swiftly. Tizamaster comes away in second. Then it's Crown Kitten inching up, and Hillstone Martini splits rivals, moves all the way up to second. Drizella righteously and sailing along trails. Rain Diva heads to the half-mile pole, over to the rail by a length. Hillstone Martini tries to press in second. It's 3 more back to Tizamaster, Crown Kitten, and Drizella in the widest, 3 deep, and 5 off the pace, 2 clear of Righteously, sailing along at the back. They head toward the 3/8 with Rain Diva to catch. A 2-length advantage now over Hillstone Martini, set down, trying to close the gap once again. Then Drizella, who's racing a joint third on the outside. Crown Kitten at the rail. Tizamaster losing ground between those two. Righteously and sailing along, and Rain Diva passes the quarter pole in charge. Hand-ridden to a 3.5-length lead now. Hillstone Martini at the rail. Crown Kitten and Drizella are all chasing, but nobody's catching Rain Diva. Rain Diva just breezing through the stretch. Late run from sailing along, trying to get second, but no match for Rain Diva. Rain Diva by 4. Sailing along. A good rally into second. Then Hillstone Martini, Drizella, and Crown Kitten completes the super high 5. Pride to the outside. Set. And they're off. Ute Your Honor and Professor's Pride will duel early on. Miss Fia with good speed just behind them in third, followed by Splicer. Flat Out Joy moves up at the rail, takes fourth. At the back, it's the gray Rock the Bourbon. Professor's Pride is the quickest, a length and a half in front. Ute Your Honor, a clear-cut second, followed by Flat Out Joy into third, Miss Fia fourth. Then it's Splicer, 5 off the pace, and a big gap to Rock the Bourbon. Professor's Pride takes them into the far turn with a length and a half lead. Your Honor tracking nicely and moving in from second. Flat Out Joy has advanced in the blue silks at the rail, still in hand third, a length and a half off the pace. And then it's Miss Fia in fourth. A quarter to go, Professor's Pride. Ute Your Honor right up alongside. Ute Your Honor on the outside, and Professor's Pride turn for home together. Professor's Pride, Ute Your Honor a half length back. 2 lengths more, Flat Out Joy angles out, then Miss Fia. Inside the 8th pole, Professor's Pride, and Ute Your Honor is determined on the outside, though, and Ute Your Honor very confidently handled to victory under Kent DeSormo, 3/4 of a length to Professor's Pride. Second, Miss Fia third, Flat Out Joy was fourth. Spiritist. And they're off. Spiritist comes out very quickly, so does Deservedly. These two battle it out early. Big Hat Willie, Quick Buck comes away fourth, moves up now and takes second. Trusty Rusty and Indulge. Up onto the main track, and it's Deservedly to set the tempo, leading by 3/4 of a length to Quick Buck second. Trusty Rusty, Lime Colors at the rail in third, followed by Spiritist, who's 3 deep, now 4 deep in fourth. Big Hat Willie in the orange colors moves up, takes the third spot, and Indulge at the back of a compact field. About 3 lengths covers them, Deservedly to catch past the half-mile pole, 3/4 of a length. Quick Buck in second. And these two fellow color bearers go past the 3/8 pole, 1-2, with Trusty Rusty and Big Hat Willie third and fourth, followed by Indulge and Spiritist. They're coming to the quarter pole. Quick Buck up to Deservedly. Within ahead of him. Deservedly still fending him off thus far. Room at the rail for Trusty Rusty if good enough. Big Hat Willie is next. Indulge trying to get going from behind. Finds a seam and starts to rally now. A furlong out. Deservedly. Trusty Rusty. A dangerous Indulge continues to make solid headway with the best momentum. And it is Indulge forging past inside the 16th pole under Abel Cedillo to win it going away. Deservedly was second. Then it was Quick Buck in a battle with Trusty Rusty and Big Hat Willie. Work more. And they're off. Very even and nice start. Clouseau, Babe. Here's Talk Less, Work More. Ranging up on the outside to vie for the early lead. Clouseau is a little bit quicker into the first turn. Talk Less, Work More right up alongside in second. Then comes Babe riding the rail in third as they come to the 6 furlong pole. Short Man, Worse Reed Sanchez, and JT's Watch at the back of the field. They swing on to the backstretch, and it's Clouseau with a very narrow lead. Talk Less, Work More up alongside, within ahead of the leader. Now they're on even terms. It's 2 more lengths. Back to Babe, racing a joint third. Outside comes Short Man, moving into the third spot. Worse Reed Sanchez had a bit of breathing room at the rail, and it's another 2 back to JT's Watch. There's a half mile to run in the Corey Nakatani Hall of Fame purse. And it is Clouseau, who's been there every step of the way with Talk Less, Work More, up alongside second. Short Man inching closer, 3 wide in third. Babe asked for a bit more fourth at the rail. Worse Reed Sanchez has 3.5 lengths to make up. 2 more to JT's Watch. A quarter of a mile to go, and it's Clouseau still in hand. Talk Less, Work More, trying hard on the outside. Babe looking for a spot, coming through along the rail. On the outside, it's Short Man. They're coming to the 8th pole. Clouseau set down, asked to finish the job. Still strong on the lead. 3 lengths, in fact, over Babe. Moving into second, it's going to be Clouseau under Giovanni Franco, making every pole a winning one. Clouseau wins it by 3. Babe clearly second best. Talk Less, Work More, Short Man. We're in the gate. And they're off. Quick beginning for Mystification as well as Delmar Jerry. Those two speed 3 lengths clear. Mohawk Sun comes away next. Rider had to look over, a little bit of traffic issues. With Stavros down on the inside making some headway. And Emerald Union right next to him. A gap of 5 back to Sir Atticus. And Captain Chuchis, who got off to a slow beginning, trails. Past the half-mile pole, it's Delmar Jerry taking the lead in hand. Mystification travels with him. 2.5 clear of Mohawk Sun. At the rails, Stavros, Yellow Cap, 4 off the pace in fourth, less than 3 furlongs out. Emerald Union, Captain Chuchis, and Sir Atticus. Delmar Jerry and Mystification arrive at the top of the stretch together, pursued by Mohawk Sun, a 3-wide third. The others have work to do. Captain Chuchi starting to pick it up on the outside. They're coming to the 8th pole. Delmar Jerry, Mystification. Delmar Jerry, Mystification, head to head, nose to nose, neither giving way. It is Delmar Jerry who now starts to edge clear, and Delmar Jerry will break his maiden at first asking in Arcadia. Mystification second. Then it was Mohawk Sun third, followed by Sir Atticus and Captain Chuchis. As Southern California is home of huge prizes and jackpots, Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel is the place for amazing concerts at their Yamava Theater. Coming soon, Missy Elliott may not. Can't beat the rock. And they're off. Wi-Fire had a good beginning. Can't beat the rock on the outside. In between them, Law Abiding is up close along with Mark's Hip. And Mark's Hip is up to take the lead. Doncic at the back of a compact field. It's Mark's Hip past the 5/8 pole, leading 3/4 of a length to Law Abiding. Wi-Fire on the fence in third. Can't beat the rock. 3 deep. Fourth, 3 lengths off the pace. Doncic just inside of him. It's Mark's Hip, the pacemaker, with less than a half mile to travel. Wi-Fire nudged along to close the gap, looking for a narrow opening and finding it along the inside. And here's Wi-Fire coming to challenge and run right by Mark's Hip, who drops out of it in a hurry. Can't beat the rock, moves clearly into second, followed by Law Abiding. Doncic, who trailed throughout, switches to the outside and starts to rally now, taking third, but with 4 lengths to make up on front running Wi-Fire, who turns for home with some run too. Wi-Fire sprints away, opens up 5 with a furlong left to go. Doncic a little erratic, weaving in and out. Can't beat the rock is clearly second, within 3.5 of Wi-Fire. It's Wi-Fire in front. Can't beat the rock is trying his best. Time running out, and Wi-Fire proves best. Wi-Fire, almost 3. Can't beat the rock. Doncic a distant third, then Law Abiding. We're in the gate. And they're off. Starship Defiant, very quick. So is Race Judicata, who's ridden hard for speed. And on the inside, Act of Serendipity, Barrios all over her. And so the pace is hot and heavy in the early stages. Act of Serendipity takes the lead. Race Judicata presses from second. 3 more. Starship Defiant wisely backs off in third. Then comes Sensible Move. Tizzy Twister racing in between horses. And a 3 deep Rose Harbor moves up now to take the 4th spot. It is a long, long way back to point and shoot. Onto the backstretch, it's Act of Serendipity coming to the 5/8 pole with a 2-length edge on Race Judicata in second. Continued progress for Rose Harbor, who gets right into the race, moving in tandem with Starship Defiant. Those two, 3 and 4 wide, respectively. And now Starship Defiant goes to battle with Race Judicata. Act of Serendipity has lost ground third. Rose Harbor still in at 4th with about 2.5 or so to make up. Tizzy Twisters in the blue. At the rail, Sensible Move on hold, 6 lengths off the pacemaker. Still a distance to point and shoot. It is Starship Defiant and Race Judicata. These two dueling to the quarter pole. 3 lengths back, Active Serendipity trying to come back for more. And then Tizzy Twister there at the top of the stretch. Starship Defiant, very confidently handled, just gets the reins shaken, leads it by a length and a half now. Active Serendipity grinding away on the outside of Race Judicata. 16th to go. Starship Defiant with reserve in the tank holds a 2-length lead. Big day for Kent DeSormo, teaming up with his friend Bob Hess Jr. Starship Defiant scores. Tizzy Twister second. Active Serendipity third, then Race Judicata. And Sensible Move completes the super high five. Golden Hour double. We're all in line. And they're off. Golden Microphone is very quick out of the gate. Square Fun hustled up for early speed. And in between those two, it's Sit, Look, and Hope. Down on the inside, Organic comes to join the party for virtually across the track. Just behind them is Magic Game, about 3 lengths off the lead, followed on the inside by Annie's Hope. A gap of 4 lengths back to Roubaix, who would be a single ticket winner if Roubaix is able to rally from there. Another couple of lengths back to Smooth as Silk and Beautiful World is at the back of a strung out field. Organic takes command 3 furlongs out, doing it easily thus far. Pressed by Golden Microphone, a neck back second. It's 3 more back to Square Fun, advancing steadily into third. And Annie's Hope is following that path in the orange colors, taking fourth. Magic Game is dropping out of it. Roubaix is next, a quarter to go, and Organic moving smoothly, opens up. It's a 4-length advantage now. Golden Microphone could not keep pace in second. From the back of the field, now closing is Roubaix to try and make this interesting late. It's Organic, 5-length lead. Roubaix is picking up solid momentum on the outside. The dream is alive and well. And here comes Roubaix. We have a single ticket winner in the Rainbow Six. And some new Paula Capestro fans as Roubaix runs down Organic. Then it was Golden Microphone and the rest between Annie's Hope, Smooth as Silk, and Square Fun. Congratulations, whoever just hit that Rainbow Six.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the best Kentucky Derby party west of the Mississippi. If you're on track here at San Diego or joining us via simulcast, thanks so much for spending all or part of your day. Of course, the Kentucky Derby represents pomp and circumstance, the most exciting 2 minutes in sports, mint juleps, all the fedoras and fancy hats, beautiful people, and the celebrities. But at the end of the day, you still got to pick a winner and make some money. And our seminar guest today does that for his living, as a matter of fact. That's because he's the track announcer and the voice here at San Diego. His name, Frank Mirahmadi. Frank, happy Derby Day. Welcome to the seminar.
Happy Derby Day to you, my friend. This is one of the great days in all of sport.
It sure is, and we're lucky to be a part of it.
No doubt.
Churchill Downs holds a special part in both of our hearts, and the reason why is that's where we actually met many, many moons ago, if you remember.
Galt
Hotel. Kent DeSormo introduced us, and as they say, the rest is history. Never at that point in time did we think that we would both be representing and working for San Diego, but what an honor it is working here at the Great Race Place.
There's no higher honor that I will ever get, and therefore I've reached the top, and it's just an absolute give the glory to the good Lord. I'm very excited about every day here. When I walk in, I leave everything, and there's plenty of it right at the door before I walk in, and I just say, hey, this is what it's all about, man. This is, this is my time, and this is my time to do what a track announcer should do, and the only thing a track announcer should do, which is to celebrate winners, not get carried away with oneself, not try to be above anything, just come in here humbly like the fan that I am and bark out some winners for people and enjoy their successes. It's a joyous job to be able to actually understand what it is and then try to execute on a daily basis. And, it's not easy. There's days that you have calls you wish you could get back, and there are days that you feel like you did a good job, but in the end, it's an absolute honor, and I'm so grateful to everyone here at Santa Anita for giving me this opportunity. I think about that every day, Tom.
And your mentor, Trevor Denman, basically gave you a simple piece of advice. He said, just watch the race and call what you see.
Open your eyes and tell them what you see. I mean, that's what I had the young man from the University of Arizona, Nathan Klein, last week over here, with the whole U of A group.
You saw a little bit of yourself in him, didn't you?
Just because he's a young kid and, he's just like all eager, and I could see the excitement. And, the one thing I told those kids is do as I say, not as I do. I only got 11 units at the U of A. I did get 3 Bs and an A. I'm proud of my A in college algebra. It's one of my top achievements in life. And then I got another 12 units elsewhere, but 23 units isn't the answer. They should go your route and try to get an MBA, because in the end, you're probably going to waste that time doing stupid things anyway. Get your education, get in the mix with your fellow kids, and pursue your dreams, and never think anything other than blinkers on and pursuing your dreams. And so it was nice to hang out with them, and to, it took me back. And so that, I think, always when we reflect back on anything, whether it's old horse races, moments, whatever it is, if we can make any difference, even the slightest. And I realized when I was a kid, I didn't listen to anyone. Chances are no one's listening, but try your best. Share your experiences, and hopefully someone will gain something, even if it's just to know that you should always pursue your dream, and you never know how the thing is going to lay out. I didn't get the Monmouth Park job the first year it was available. It was devastating. I didn't get the Santa Anita job when I came and auditioned, but you just got to move on. You never know what is meant to be and how things may develop. And the key is to just enjoy those moments and to do the best you can every day. Mike Rapoli, who had that terrible news today about his horse Forte, in every one of his interviews leading up to this week, he basically talked about one thing: work 18-hour days, 7 days a week, and let me know if you were successful. I've never done that, so that's why I don't have billions, and I haven't sold sodas to beverage companies. But the bottom line is, what he's trying to convey is to put your heart and soul into it. A guy from Queens can get to the top and be stacked to the moon and back, and also have family around him, which is way more important than any stacks, and just the warmth and everything. But in a thing like today, it shows that he's powerless too, because ultimately it was the horse just couldn't make it today. And look, we're in a new time, Tom. Let's talk about that for a brief moment. We know better than anyone here at Santa Anita Park that it's time to basically understand that it's all about the horse first at all times, and even to, sometimes to frustrate some people that want to run more often and want to put their horse in. But in the end, safety is first, and it's imperative that we keep everyone safe. And it's a very sad day for them and some others that missed their opportunity. Skinner, 2 of my top 3 picks are out of the Derby. So, we just got to go by the rules and live your dream and move on. There's the Preakness in a couple weeks.
The pioneers take the most arrows, right, Frank? In other words, we were the first in safety protocol, not only protecting the equines, but also the jockeys. And let's face it, the whole industry was behind the times in that respect. We learned a valuable lesson, and we were the first one to implement those protocols. Now it's kind of migrating across the country, and Churchill Downs is doing the right thing. Of course, it's disappointing for the connections.
We need to get you on camera during this conversation, if at all possible. Here.
Brian Martinez is probably busy studying the Kentucky Derby.
Yes.
But nevertheless, it's important to basically implement those protocols, because at the end of the day, on the world's biggest stage today for the Kentucky Derby, God forbid that anything go wrong. So we have to take everything seriously. And it's disappointing for the connections. It's disappointing for the horse players that wanted to play Forte. But the right decision is being made. And we've made those difficult decisions in the years leading up to this.
I mean, we take shots every day from people telling us this and that and the other. But in the end, our record for safety is at the top of the list. It's because our company is very much behind trying to do the right thing over here. So look, I understand there's a lot of complaints in every sport, a lot of complaints in our sport, and things aren't perfect here or anywhere for that matter. But I know one thing: I come to work proud every day, knowing that we are trying our absolute best to put on a great show, and at the same time, remember what our priorities are. And our priorities are keeping this great sport for generations to come.
Track announcer Frank Mirahmadi is going to do the homework and tell us who he likes on today's 11 race card here at Santa Anita. Also, of course, the Kentucky Derby, who he thinks will win that prestigious race as well. But before we do any of that, Frank's got to continue working. He's going to give us the early changes on today's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kentucky Derby Day and a great day of racing action here at Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast. The turf course starts out as good with the rail on the turf out 20 feet. Not many changes on today's card. Let's get right to it. First race begins the early pick 5. Number 1, Itzel, will carry 4 pounds over. Second race begins the early pick 4. No changes. No changes in race 3. Overweights in the 4th, number 6 plus 2, number 7 plus 3. We have a middle pick 4 today, beginning with race number 5. On races 5, 6, 7, and 8, scratch number 7, an agent mistake. Race 6 is the Lazaro Barrera Stakes. Just a blinker note. And it starts the Rainbow Pick 6. There was a single ticket winner yesterday in the Rainbow 6, and it was played on a $78.60 ticket. Anything's possible in the Rainbow 6. We have a tough sequence today. Starts with our 6th race in a fresh pool. The 7th is the Grade 3 Senorita Stakes. Just a blinker note. Race 8 begins the late pick 4. Blinker note. In the 9th, there are no changes. No changes in the 10th, start of the Golden Hour pick 4. And in the 11th, program scratch of 3, Kahuna Magic. Golden Hour double starts with race 11. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. It's Kentucky Derby Day. You can watch and wager on all those races from Churchill as well. Post time for our first in 57 minutes. We go back now to Quigley's Corner.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with the voice of San Anita's track announcer, Frank Mirahmadi. Frank, we've got a lot of ground to cover, 11 races, plus the Kentucky Derby, which, of course, is the marquee event. So let's get right to it. Who do you like in the Derby and why?
I like a horse named Tapit Trice. I've been on his bandwagon since I actually picked against him when he was in an allowance race, and it's a perfect example of something we talk about on this show very often, which is you need to watch replays to make an educated decision. I had not watched a replay. And there were two Pletcher horses squaring off, one on the rail and one on the outside with good tactical speed. I'm thinking like the one on the outside was the favorite. I didn't watch either replay. I made the wrong choice. I watched this gray beast blow me right off the track. And I said to myself right in the booth, I go, that's probably the Kentucky Derby winner right there. You deserved. And
back on February 4th.
That was February 4th, 2-4, a day after the anniversary of Bill Shoemaker's last ride. Anyway, I've been on his bandwagon ever since. Loved what he did in the Tampa Bay Derby. I just thought the ride in the bluegrass was just phenomenal. He's a big boy. He wants a mile and a quarter, and I look for him to blow them away this afternoon.
Son of Tapit, and certainly will take action with the defections we've had up to this point. Connections paid $1.3 million, but it's more than just picking the winner. The exacta pools, the trifecta pools, all the pools are gigantic on Derby Day. That's what makes it so alluring. Who do you like to maybe round out the exacta?
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I did. A couple of my friends asked me this week who I liked in order.
That. Your phone has to blow up.
It wasn't much, actually. Yeah, people have backed off after after many years.
Tough love.
Yeah, tough love. But anyway, I sent it out, and in doing so, I had it as Tapit Trice winning, and then Skinner, who I thought had a huge shot, second, and then Forte third, and then Reincarnate fourth. And so right now, do I really think Reincarnate should be my second choice? No. I think, maybe that Mandarin Hero from the outside, since he was right next to Skinner, maybe Dermis Sodagake, because this might just be one of those years,
The Japanese horses, have dominated the world stage within the last year or so. For those of us who pay attention to international racing,
APA.
The Japanese horses dominating the Kentucky Derby would not be a huge surprise.
Nothing would surprise, but I just think Tapit Trice, he just wants to run all day. He's supposed to go right by every one of these one by one like he's done in his last two races. But it's a step up. Everything's got to go right. You got to get a good ride. But I think he's going to win. I thought the morning line, I don't like to take shots at morning lines or anything, but I really felt like the line on Reincarnate was preposterous. And I think
50 to 1.
And the reason I actually thought immediately that there was probably a hidden message in that, just because of where he hailed from originally and then went to this and that. So I just thought that was ridiculous. And maybe maybe that thing came from somewhere else. That was crazy. So
Johnny V on a 50 to 1 is not something you see every day.
For a Tim Yaktien previously trained by Bob Baffert, that's not a good line at all. Well, and I feel bad saying that because I made the morning line for 9 years on the fairs, and people shredded me up like cheddar cheese. The Professor Gordon Jones had a feast that he was just basically eating free food, watching my morning lines, and we had seminars together, and he was so tactful in expressing when a morning line was way off base. Yeah, the toughest thing for me, and we have one again today, has always been starter allowance races and comparing the class from different situations. It's not easy. But anyway, it's a tough job. But 50, look, you put 50 on a horse when there's absolutely positively no shot whatsoever. This horse was one of the favorites going into one of the most prestigious series of Derby preps at Oaklawn. So even if you say 30, it's fine. But 50 made me put him into the mix more so than I would have. But I think there are some other horses in here that are interesting, that this Derby has become a little more wide open. But I think if Tapit Trice runs his best race, he's the right horse.
Post time for the Kentucky Derby is 3:57 p.m. Pacific time. Of course, all eyes will be glued to that particular race, and we'll stop racing much well in advance of that particular race. So plenty of time to get your last-minute wagers in. All right, Frankie, let's turn the page, take a look at San Anita's program.
Yeah.
Kicking off in race number 1, happy to report we are in the turf course today. The turf course listed as good, and the rails are at 20 feet. Race 1 is sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course for 3-year-olds, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than. A field of 7, 3 of them from the Peter Miller barn, including the filly number 1, Itzel, running against the boys. But the morning line favorite in the current betting choice at 9-5, number 3, Mas Rapido from the Bob Hess barn. Bob Hess and Kent DeSormo, longtime friends, teamed up for a victory yesterday. What are your thoughts on race 1?
Goes way back, man. It was early 1990s.
And before you give us our pick, it was also great to see Corey Nakatani on track yesterday. I bumped into him in the paddock. We had a race named after him.
Did he hit you?
He did. Recent inductee into the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to him and Fernando Toro and all the the new inductees into the Hall of Fame.
It was a great Twitter message from the two J's, Jay Pridman, Jay Hovde. I hope you saw that.
I did the video.
That was as good as it gets. And look, I grew up in the time of Toro on Turf. He wrote a lot of monsters on the grass.
Who his agent was at that time?
Someone told me recently. It was
Ron Anderson.
Yeah, that's right.
Super agent.
That. Yeah. No surprise.
Back in the day, nobody knew who Ron Anderson was.
Fernando Toro was phenomenal. I remember him, and I liked Toro on Turf. I was a big Toro on Turf man in those days, and I remember like even claimers that he wrote. He was the man, and he deserved it.
So sentimental when he got the news.
It was beautiful. You like to see that's what sports is about, man. Moments like that, like that was greatness. And Corey Nakatani, his son Matt had been just beating this drum so much, and I will admit this, it was almost like I was like this, like okay, I hear it. Meanwhile, when you look at the stats that he kept furnishing everybody, it was the no-brainer of all time. And then when Chris McCarron, who taught some lessons right here in Arcadia for many years with his brilliance, particularly my favorite thing about Chris McCarron, stretching horses out, young horses, like, he would teach them. And sometimes it might cost you as a bettor in the first round of it, but he would be teaching them what they need to do. And he was great at that and great in so many categories. But, a very vocal guy and a well-respected man who earned it, speaking up on Corey's behalf, saying, hey, what is this? So I'm glad it finally happened. And you know what? Sometimes things in life don't happen on the schedule we expect.
To what you said.
It's just the way it is. Yep. I mean, look, we'd love things to happen, immediately, if not sooner. But good for Corey, good for his family, and you know what? His riding spoke for itself.
Now, who do you like in race 1? Do you like the Hasta Sormo team or someone else?
I think that's the horse to beat for sure. There was a horse that I had to pick over him, and it might not help my stat today because I think Mas Rapido is more likely to win. Particularly Kent winning 3 yesterday, and this horse in perfect form. And maybe Kent, no matter who rode him previously, it's just the answer. Him and horses get along like nothing else. But I really did like the debut of Zabul. When you think about Ryan Hansen, you don't generally think of some deep closer, right? You think of some speedball, but this horse really closed with a purpose. I thought he might be interesting when he stretched out, but like many horses who stretch out after closing sprinting, it's not as easy as it seems. And whatever happened there, put him on the sidelines for several months. Gets Lasix for the first time. Hall of Famer Mike Smith aboard. Maybe Zabul from off the pace. The most likely one to win, of course, is Mas Rapido, and the public has acknowledged the morning line favorite from our man John White.
Very surprising to see Mike Smith here in Southern California. I'm surprised he's not riding at Churchill Downs either on the undercard or in the Kentucky Derby. He's not known as Big Money Mike Smith for no reason. Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. We're on the main track sprinting 7 furlongs to the distance. This is a starter optional claiming race. We've got a field of 6 and the program favorite on the bottom. Number 6 took charge 2-1 from the Jorge Parabon barn. Give us your thoughts on race 2.
I mean, this card is very tough today. I will tell you this. You should get paid if you pick some winners today. This race here really puzzled me. And it's funny, after all that, I'm going to go to the top 2 morning line choices in reverse order. I picked number 5, Redline on top, who came into a photo finish. It was an exciting race indeed with Jetivator, the gray, for Peter Urton, fending him off. Took charge, ran very well, running on the pace that day, and drops and gets a cozy outside draw too. Both the 4 and 6 have excellent records on the dirt. Redline fits in. Steve Knapp's just been, his horse is just fire. And so I gave a slight nod, 5-6, but this race, I wouldn't blame you for picking any of them. This is a toughie.
Pedigree gurus will know that Redline is a half to Stella Noir, the very talented filly from the Keith DeSormo barn, who has a runner in the Kentucky Derby today coming in off a long layoff. Race number 3, back on the turf course sprinting, 6 furlongs in the distance for fillies and mares, starter allowance types. These fillies and mares had to have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less since January 1st, 2021. We've got a field of 6 once again. Number 5, Over Attracted. What a tough beat that was for her last time out. 9-5 on the morning line. I missed the wedding, and now I got to go to the funeral. I tweeted Over Attracted. She closed like gangbusters and just missed. Who do you like in race 3?
Sometimes place pays. By the way, Motorius just ran his eyeballs out in Kentucky and ended up finishing second. So sometimes you got to bet the place, but that was a sick beat. This horse won't lose today, I don't believe. She should blow right by these, and you should hold a snow cone in your hand here for her as she comes home. I think it's a chalky exacta, 5-1 to the hoop and turn the page.
Race number 4, we're back on the main track, 6 furlongs the distance. Maiden claiming Calabreds in for a $50,000 tag. A field of 7, number 3, Blue Cheese Olive. The only 4-year-old in the field from the Peter Miller barn is the 5-2 morning line favorite. Abdul Al-Sagor is in the saddle. Some of these apprentices are starting to pick up my chin a little bit because they're actually getting into the winner's circle.
How about Armando Aguilar?
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't know him if he walked in the room, but I'll tell you one thing, that kid can ride. And I keep thinking I got to give him some more love when he's riding because he's winning races and he's doing a good job.
You can see the improvement. You know what I mean? And big barns like Mark Glad in his particular instance are using him aggressively, and he's delivering.
Look, 7 pounds is 7 pounds. Take it from me. I could lose 7 pounds. I'd feel better. It wouldn't solve the problem, but it would feel better. This is an interesting race. We're going to go to the video, and usually you have to come in with the video routine. But
please tell us who and why.
I'm going to go to number 4, Our Heart of Gold, with a little video play here. If we can get Brian Martinez to forget about the race after the Kentucky Derby right now, and look at this gray in mid-pack. He's
breaking
number 7.
Post position number 7.
And I love this. Our great chart callers upstairs,
Trouble Trip,
Mr. Treason Davis, just say Trouble Trip. If you watch this gray running down the backstretch, this is exactly what it is. There's no reason to get into a whole lot of detail other than 2 words: Troubled Trip. He's in traffic here. He's going to be steadying. He's going to be uncomfortable. He's going to be down toward the inside. And it's just one of those situations where circumstances, as is often the case with first-time starters, are against him. And we don't know what he can do. But right now, we know one thing. This is just not fun. He's down on the rail. He's wondering what's going on. He's never been in this environment before. It's the afternoon. And right about here, he's going to check out and say, you know what, enough of this. And he's done. But the winner here in those friendly colors of our man Pete Perella, Legacy Rancher, going to jog home by many. We don't know, but we know this much. This was a big field. He was 6-1 for Kristen Mulhall. Talk about an underrated and under the radar.
She's got some live runners today, including this one.
Tell you one thing, Kristen Mulhall can flat out train, and a friend of mine actually had a few horses with her in the last year or two.
We both remember her dad. She was born into the business.
That's it. And she just does the job. She loves horses. You know, you don't hear a lot from her, which is almost better. It's like I love people that just let their performance speak. But, you know, she has done this back to the days of imperialism.
Reminds me of the horse that ran yesterday. Talk less, work more.
That's what we should do. Always. Remember, less is more. You know, if you follow less is more, I'm not going to call Jessica Piper Jennifer because I just texted my girlfriend. And,
whose name is Jennifer.
Whose name is Jennifer. And then she's going, and I go with Jennifer. I mean, Jessica Piper. It's a perfect example. You and I were laughing about that because in the end, I've always believed in the philosophy less is more, particularly on the microphone. Start piping off
just
about
race, would you,
well,
please?
It wasn't even in the race. They're going in the gate. I got to throw in the jockey name. I deserved it. It was one of those things where, ow, you hit your.
You got stung.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, Our Heart of Gold was 6-1 in a full field.
Let me add one other tidbit. She was 12-1 on John White's morning line, so she got bet in half.
Yes.
Not only was she 6-1 only was he.
I was about to give you the. I was waiting. I was absolutely poised.
I didn't give you that opportunity.
I was coming at you.
Not only was it a 14-horse field, but he got bet in half as a first-time starter. That tells you that he was well-intended.
So why not give him a shot? I want to talk about the savvy of wagering public. Look at number 3, Blue Cheese Olive's past performance lines. Debut, 7-5 favorite. Granted, it was a 6-horse field. Maiden for Calbred, special weight. Come back, a couple weeks later, same kind of race, bigger field, 15-1. Think about how
nowhere.
I mean, that's as good as it gets. 7-5. It wasn't like the horse was nowhere. The horse was second at a 58 buyer. 15-1 search party. Gotta love the public. Sometimes the board does know. The other horse I thought was interesting in here is number 5, Stella Boy. I would definitely use both of these horses, and I wouldn't blame you if you use more, but I do believe Stella Boy ran a decent race, and he was kind of trying. He was toward the inside at the top of the stretch, and you could see a horse reaching a little bit. Ended up an even 4th for Sean McCarthy, and Sean does a good job, as I think would be the case with every trainer, second time over first time. So I went 4-5 in yet another extremely difficult race number 4.
On our 11 race card, we do offer a 50-cent middle pick 4 that begins in race number 5. And race number 5 is 1 1/8 on the turf course for fillies and mares. It's an allowance race. Scratch the 7, leaves us with a field of 7. Number 3, Leisure Wear, who we haven't seen in a while, from the Phil D'Amato barn, is a 3-1 morning line favorite. There's that guy Abdul Al-Sagar again. Give us your thoughts on race 5, Frank.
It's just hard for me to go with Leisure Wear based on the fact that she's a 5-year-old that's 1 for 14. Yes, she finished second in the entry-level allowance race, but I'm not taking a short price on her. Instead, I'm going to number 8, Anaglasa, who interestingly does have the services of Kyle Frey, who had previously ridden Leisure Wear, going back in time. But Anaglasa, look, this is a race at 1 1/8 where I felt an agent mistake was facing a very important question as to whether she could handle this distance. And that question we will not find out because she'll probably run shorter in the future. But I'm going to give a slight nod to the 5-year-old mare, Anaglasa, who, has good tactical speed and should be in a good spot to pounce. I thought the 4, She's a Joker. If you look 3 starts back, that mile race coming from well out of it, that was certainly a good performance. It ended up making her a favorite in a subsequent dirt start. And then last lost time prepping in a sprint. You get Peter Miller at a price there. The other horse I would highly recommend you use if you are playing the early pick 5 or the very important middle pick 4, the one Pop Stream at 10-1. I think, I would have liked to give 3 picks here, where sometimes I only want to give 1. Pop Stream could easily win this race. She's had a couple races at 1 1/8 on the grass where she was 2nd and 4th, both times beaten less than 3 lengths. There's no question that her best is good enough to put her right in the winner's circle. In micro share, there's no turf breeding whatsoever. So I don't know what the story is here. They're just taking a shot, but I can't justify it based on any of my pedigree research.
Race number 6 begins the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. As you heard Frank mention earlier, the jackpot got taken down yesterday. It was a $76.80 ticket purchased at the Meadowlands back on the East Coast, and that ticket holder cashed for $312,000. Congratulations to that person.
Big bucks.
Don't even know if they're awake at this point in time, but why would you be after that?
They should be partying.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have some friends. Apple. I have some friends, my dear friend, Dr. Miller, who got me to Dr. Patey, which is one of the greatest.
Who saved your life.
It's one of the greatest assists in modern history for my second surgery, from Miller to Patey for 3. Yes. That was fantastic. But I thought it was him. I was sure hoping it was him because, I could, say, hey, Doc, what about your buddy here?
But a few stacks.
Yeah, but unfortunately it wasn't him. But
what a great job of handicapping.
Really good.
That's what the game's all about. Bet a little to win a lot.
I will say this, not to pat myself on the back, but when they came on the track, and you did the same thing, when they were getting ready for that race yesterday, the first leg, if you follow this thing daily, you know that there was little money bet in that pool. And I actually mentioned in the post parade saying this is a good wagering opportunity because at that time we had 200 and some thousand in there and only $20,000 bet early of new money. That means, I always look at it, I always make it times 10 to try to think of how would this fit, like a $200,000 extra money for a $2 ticket, because that's the way you always will go back to talk about it. So anyway, next thing you know, boom, someone comes with 1 ticket. And the other payoffs weren't that great along the way, maybe 4, 3, 2, 1,000. But if you're lucky enough to use that horse, boom.
The reason why the pool was so small, Frankie, is because it was right before the Kentucky Oaks. And when Peter Lurie and I were previewing the Pick 6, I told Peter, as a handicapper, you need to be a contrarian. Everybody was focused on the Kentucky Oaks. And I understand why. Nobody was paying attention to our Pick 6. And lo and behold, all you had to be was the only ticket in a relatively small pool of new money. And that's exactly what this player did. There's no way most players cashed for $312,000.
That could have been like a 2,000. Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
But that could have been 1,000 or 2,000 on a normal day, maybe 3,000, 4,000.
Correct.
Speaking of Peter Lurie, quick note.
He hit the Pick 6 last weekend.
He did. He did a good job. But even funnier is that Jennifer told me, my better half told me today that she was talking to a dear friend of hers, and that guy was watching TVG or FanDuel TV where Pete does some side work, and the guy's son came in and he goes, "I know this guy. I know this voice." It turned out he knew his voice from some video game that Pete does the voiceover for. Like, how obscure is that to because that guy's playing a lot of video games.
World.
It's crazy.
Peter Lurie Vito and Pete's Twitter account that came into play right there.
Seriously, for those who think that's a bunch of hype, it's not. This guy's in video games. So there you go. I just thought that was classic, and I meant to tell Pete, but I probably won't see him, so now I told everyone else.
Race number 6 is the first of 2 stakes races on today's card. It's the Las Barreras Stakes. We're sprinting 7 furlongs in the main track for 3-year-olds. We've got just a field of 4, 2 of them trained by Bob Baffert, including the morning line favorite number 2, Hard to Figure, who's taking blinkers off. 7-5, according to John White. We're short on time, but I got to ask you, did you know Laz at all? Of course, he's world-renowned for training Affirmed. It was a little bit before my time. Did you ever happen to bump into him or rub shoulders with him?
Never met him, but I did meet his jockey, Walter Guerra.
That's a blast from the past.
And he rode a lot of horses for Laz, including the great It's the One. So I'm very familiar with Laz. My brother's favorite horse was Affirmed, so I was never an Affirmed fan for obvious reasons. I was a Spectacular Bid and Shoemaker man. But Affirmed was a beast, and he carried that $126 fending off Sir Lad and company in that Hollywood Gold Cup.
And
$130. Forget about $120. It was $130, $132 maybe. I think it was 132 pounds.
And the Harborview Silks, legendary.
Flamingo white bars on black sleeves, black cap.
We've got some legendary silks in this race. Pegram, Watson, and Whiteman, the car guys, have 2 runners. You picking one of them, or are you looking elsewhere?
I picked Tahoe's Sunrise. Mr. Pegram lives up near Tahoe.
Yes, he does.
And he probably likes that Sunrise. And Tahoe Sunrise turned away Dillinger, but that now makes 3 horses that have turned away Dillinger so far. But he was pretty game, and he could improve. He could go maybe a little further. This is a tough race. It's only 4, but I mean, I could see 3 of the 4 winning. I went 3-2, but The Navy man ran down Dillinger on a nice comeback, and April 8th, May 6th, he's had enough time to recover, but I'm going to give it a slight nod to the 3 in a race again, and I'm not just saying this for, fanciness. These races are not easy today.
I agree. Race number 6 goes off at 3:25 p.m. Pacific time. Then we run the Derby at 3:57.
Then you start chasing right afterward.
Exactly. The get-out races start in race number 7, which also begins the 50-cent late pick 5. Post time for race 7 is 4:37 p.m. Pacific time, and it's the Grade 3 Senorita Stakes for 3-year-old fillies coming down the Hillside Turf Course. We've got a field of 7, including the daughter of Tina Ella, including the daughter of Beholder, who is number 2, Tina Ella, who's 5-2 on the morning line. To me, just like you've been harping all along up to this point, this is a really tough race. You can go a lot of different ways here.
It is. I went with the 1, the Wild Grazer, because last time out, the Wild Grazer, they put the blinkers on her.
She did not like that.
She didn't like that. She didn't like anything that was going on at the gate. And hopefully you people out there like the cancel button, because if there was ever a time to cancel your bet, she was begging you to just say this is not her day. So hopefully you got off the trap at 2-1. She's very talented. But as Jeff Mullins noted prior in the paddock, I don't remember if it was with Zoe or Millie or Michelle, but with one of them, was talking about the Wild Grazer prior to the start on January 8th, and he was telling us that he's been wanting to run her long, but she's tough to deal with. Hopefully Juan Hernandez at that point could just get her in the clear and have her come running. She did, looked strong. Then came up a neck short in her first route race in the U.S., and then last time out was poised to try to make amends and ran her race before. Those blinkers are off. I would imagine they're never coming back. Tina Ella is going to be tough to deny. I think it's these two. 1, 2 would be the only 2 for me in race number 7.
If you have the past performances for number 1, the Wild Grazer, Frank's top pick in race number 7, you can see back on August 10th over in Ireland, she lost to a runner by the name of Victoria Road. All Victoria Road did was come back and win the Grade 1 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Race. So certainly she exuded class even before coming to the United States.
By the way, Victoria is one of my favorite female names, in case you have some people about to have a baby out there. It's a great name.
It is a great name. Yeah. Race number 8 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. Better than Frank and Tom, right? I mean, those are two kind of mundane
I was named
names.
after Frank Sinatra, so I've been a major letdown for 55 years now.
Can you sing it all?
I mean, I would have to say it's bad.
Okay, yeah, me too.
I think I can, but who doesn't?
Exactly. Race number 8, 50-cent late pick 4.
I'm a great parody writer. I mean,
a great impersonator.
I could give Weird Al a run for his money on a couple of those songs.
Race number 8 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're spreading 6.5 furlongs in the main track. $20,000 claimers. Non-winners of 3 races. Lifetime morning line favorite number 3, Saucedy from the Ron Ellis barn. First off the claim, Abdul Al-Sagar once again in the saddle. Give us your thoughts on race 8, Frank.
Look, if you look back 20 years and look at Ron Ellis off the claim, he is excellent with a capital E. So this horse fits. I'm not picking Saucedy because I think that he lacks something in the end of his races called the desire to get there first. But maybe Ron's going to find it and make it happen here today. I went to number 5, Bruto. Bruto, this is one of my angles. This is a strong angle, and you can see it consistently at big meets like those at Keeneland, Churchill, over at Saratoga. You'll see this, which is what I call burning chalk at a lesser oval. And that's no disrespect to where a horse comes, because oftentimes when they're coming to Churchill, they're coming from the fairgrounds, which is a great track. So there's nothing, it's not like you're jabbing them. But the reality is Santa Anita is going to have to be regarded as higher than Los Alamitos at all times. And this horse has been even money in 2 to 5 his last 2. That's not the only reason for the pick. I think he actually fits in here. He ran okay on the turf. He was training extremely well prior to that March 4th race. He's in for 20. He was claimed for 16. He's where he belongs. Lorenzo Ruiz just had a nice win again. His horses are good. And the 1, Winter Falcon, is a big, big threat. 1 for 1 on a main track race, claimed by Jonathan Wong, whose stats are off the charts. 4 horses ran back out of that Golden Gate affair. 2 wins, 1 beaten and nose. The 1 looms large. I went 5-1. I would also use the 7. And I think you have to use the 3. I mean, if you're spreading, you don't want to get knocked out. I would go 1, 3, 5, 7. That's not really like, you could spread deep here. But to me, I'm going 5-1, and I'm comfortable with those 2 selections, with one of them hopefully being a winner. But Matico for Paula Capestro certainly fits. Stir the Pot's not out of the question, but I don't really like him.
Frank's top selection, number 5, Bruto, adds blinkers. Also, when he was claimed back on January 13th from the Mr. Baffert barn, 14 claims in. You can see trainer Lorenzo Ruiz.
Oh, that's great to know. Where do you get that info? Do you look at it the next day? And
I actually find it on the claims register that Santa Anita has on their website, and then I put it in DRF Formulator. I have a good mind, but I don't have a photographic mind. I need to put it in the PP.
No, that's good.
Great information.
But you can get it. It's accessible?
It's accessible on the claims register on the santanita.com website. But the Lorenzo Ruiz did win a race yesterday, and you can see he keeps this horse above his claim level of 16,000. Race number 9 back on the turf course. Mile and an eighth is the distance. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 2, other than take note number 3. Title Force is a first-time gelding. Number 2, yes, this time from Mark Lathbarn. 5-2 on the morning line. Give us your thoughts on race 9, Frank.
I'm coming with a little long shot here. Number 4, Flashiest for Leonard Powell. He's been there or thereabouts. You're getting a bigger price because of Antonio Fresu. Most of you have never heard of him, and understandably so. But he did just get his first ever Santa Anita victory. And this horse, look, if he had a different jockey, he might be 5-1. But he's just maybe under the radar. Number 7, Vanzi for Dan Blacker, who won 3 races last weekend. I think also finds that this might be a very cozy drop. I went 4-7 in yet another race. I mean, look, General Mathis is on a roll. He even won on the dirt last time. Yes, this time.
Trained by Kristen Mulhall.
Tell you one thing. You should get paid if you pick some winners today.
Race number 10 starts the $1 golden hour pick 4, linking our last 2 races here with the last 2 races at Golden Gate. We're sprinting 7 furlongs in the main track for fillies and mares. It's a starter allowance race. Field of 8. Morning line favorite is number 7, Taming the Tigress, 5-2 on the morning line. We literally have 30 seconds left, so I'm going to ask you to breeze right through this in case the anthem singer is starting to get nervous.
Ole Silver, number 1, is my top pick with that man Armando Aguilar. The 6, Charlotte Harbor, 1-6 in that order, and then we go to the finale.
And let's talk about race number 11. Begins the $5 golden hour daily double, 6 furlongs in the turf course, an allowance race. Program scratch of the 3 leaves us with a field of 9. Morning line favorite number 7, Thornhouse, 5-2 on John White's morning line. Give us a winner to close it out, Frank.
I like that horse, Thornhouse. He was flying last time out. The issue is this race is a little shorter than the last one, and the horse right outside of him, number 9, Forgiving Spirit, is going to be a better price. Is interesting because he was in that same race. I've watched that race many times because that was the America's Best Racing race where they filmed me. So I'm going to go 7, 9 in that order, but the 9 is 8-1. And I think that he rates a long look in here. But Thornhouse was flying through the stretch and really rolling about the 8th pole. So if I had to single one horse today, it might be Thornhouse.
Frank, thanks so much for your time and insight today. Hope you have a tremendous time and do a great job calling all 11 races here. And good luck to all of you. Thanks for watching. Enjoy Derby Day, Kentucky Derby Day here at the Great Race Place. Always is a lot of fun. Have some mint juleps, mingle with the crowd, pick some winners, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Kentucky Derby Day in Arcadia, California at Santa Anita Park. The track is fast, the turf is good, the rail on the turf at 20 feet. Here are the changes. In the first, start of the early pick 5. Number 1, Itzel, 4 pounds over. Couple of blinker notes. Race 2 is the start of the early pick 4. No changes. No changes in the third. Moving on to the fourth. Number 6, 40G, 2 pounds over. 7, Mr. Disrespectful, 3 pounds over. Fifth race offers a middle pick 4 wager today on races 5, 6, 7, and 8. Scratch number 7, an agent mistake. Race 6 starts the Rainbow 6, fresh pool today after the big win yesterday. Blinker note only. Rainbow pick 6 starts with race 6. There's no show wagering the Las Barrera. In the 7th, the Grade 3 Senorita Stakes. Blinker note. Start of the late pick 5. 8th race begins the late pick 4. Blinker note. No changes in the 9th. 10th race starts the Golden Hour pick 4. No changes. And in the 11th, program scratcher number 3, Kahuna Magic. Golden Hour double starts with the 11th. Enjoy this great day of racing action here at Santa Anita Park, as well as around the country, including all those simulcasts from Churchill Downs. They'll be at the gate for our opener in 24 minutes at 12:30.
12 minutes to post to the opener here, and on behalf of everybody at First Racing, we'd like to welcome you to Kentucky Derby Day here west of the Mississippi over at beautiful Santa Anita Park. Hi, everybody. Peter Lurie alongside the very festive Michelle Yu. You look amazing.
Thank you so much, Pete. Appreciate it.
We got to get right to it here. We got to work courtesy of our partners over to XB TV to kick off the pick 5, the 7 horses of Bull for train Ryan Hansen.
He's going to be working in the middle here, and his workmate along the inside, Mount Zaror, got beaten maiden claiming the other day, but he's a horse that probably wants a little bit more ground than he had to work with. Zabul broke pretty nicely there. He's generally a slow breaker in the afternoon, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him just a little hesitant to get out of the gate. He's a really big horse. He's just massive. So I'm sure it's kind of close quarters for him in there. You can see he broke really well, but then he sits there and lets Mount Zaror come up inside. But overall, we're going to see Zabul pull away here. Mount Zaror is being ridden. The workmate to the outside is not going to be in touch there at all. And Zabul finishes up that work really well. You know, he's coming into this race after a layoff after the Cecil B. DeMille. And so technically he gets a turn back in distance, even though that was a little while ago. I think that he can run well in here. I am a touch concerned with the turf being listed as good. Like I mentioned, he's a really big, heavy horse. I think he likes to have a firmer bit of ground under him. I'm not sure how he's going to handle a little softer ground.
Kind of along those lines. That's why I thought the 3 Mass Rapido was probably the horse to beat. Even money here. So we'll see how this thing plays itself out. We're going to be joined by, in the paddock, Zoe Cadman and, of course, Jess Pfeiffer out by the gate. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's quite a party. You still have time to come on out here. The pool at 82,101. 10 minutes to post on behalf of everyone here at First Racing. A first glance coming up from Mr. Jeff Siegel. Welcome to Santa Anita.
Jay Cohen brings them out for the first, name for 7-Up Social Club, LLC. Track fast, turf good, rail on turf at 20 feet. Early pick 5 starts right here in 9 minutes.
We are just about 10 minutes away from race number 1, and what a great way to start off the day with, they call her Baroness Schroeder. She has the number 3 horse in here, Mas Rapido. Are you nervous? You're the favorite.
I know we're the favorite, and that makes me really nervous.
Tell us how she's come along and how will she handle the flat track today?
Him. He should do okay. He's a pretty even-tempered kind of guy. He's not flighty like Blue Tone was.
Yeah.
But, you know, we love him, and we're glad that Kent is back on him. He was supposed to be on him last time, but, of course, that didn't happen.
He had a 3-win day yesterday, so a big day for Kent yesterday.
So let's keep it going, Kent. Let's keep it going, starting today, starting now.
All right, let's start off a winner. Best of luck to you today.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Cheers.
We've got an exciting day today here at San Ana Park and also at Churchill Downs for the Kentucky Derby, but that's a little bit later. Let's get to the first race here now. We had a little bit of an exciting warm-up, as I could say. The number 5, Hogmanay, actually dropped his rider, Ricky Gonzalez, which is funny because I was about to tell you guys how this horse wheels sometimes. He's a little bit of a funny horse in the mornings. And then I think he did it in the warm-up and dropped Ricky Gonzalez, but he got a leg back up from the vet, Dana, and he is looking good now as he's making his way to the track. But this horse can be a little bit funny. The number 7, Zabul, warmed up by himself with the rider, Mike Smith, on him. He got to know him quite well in that warm up, it looks like, and he looks really good coming to the gate as well. I just wanted to touch on the number 1, Itzel. This is the filly against boys in this race. She is also a 3-year-old, so she gets a lot of weight off of what the other horses may have. Actually, 12 pounds less because Abdul Al-Sagor is carrying 112 on this horse instead of the 108. So 12 pounds less off of the other horses because she has the bug rider, Abdul Al-Sagor. She's 3 years old, and she's a filly facing boys. Horses are leading up to the gate, crossing over the turf course. This will be 6 furlongs on the turf for this first race here at Santa Anita. Good luck, everybody.
It's post time. The horses have reached the starting gate. Agmane, Mas Rapido, Kid Azteca walks up, Zabul to the outside. We're in the gate. And they're off. Rexford was out very alertly, passed immediately by the filly Itzel. And Itzel sprints clear a length and a half. Castle Knock is now racing in second. Kid Azteca to the outside third. Then Mas Rapido inching up, Yellow Cap on the fence. Rexford, who broke well, is next to Hogmanay, and stretch running Zabul is at the back of the field. Itzel tries to shake loose into the far turn and does so. It's suddenly a 4-length lead. Castle Knock is in second, followed on the outside by Kid Azteca. Mas Rapido on the rail fourth. Another 2 lengths back to Hogmanay, who's followed by Rexford and Zabul. Itzel with a 1/4 mile to go, lead down to 2.5. Mas Rapido on the chase, closing stoutly in second. 2 lengths clear of Kid Azteca in third. They're at the top of the stretch. Itzel, Mas Rapido continues to swarm in on the outside. From the back of the field, Hogmanay trying to get a piece. Rexford finishing nicely on the inside as Mas Rapido takes the lead close to home. And it's going to be Mas Rapido to win the opener. Second to Itzel, photo for third between Rexford and Zabul, then Kid Azteca. Number 3, Mas Rapido was first. One Itself finished second. It is a photo for third. Finishing third, number 4, Rexford. Fourth, 7, Zebul. And fifth, number 6, Kid Azteca, 31476.